When your eyes are like peonies after rain.
We joke about king cobras, Taylor, but it is certainly something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, nah.
That little story I was kind of telling you about the king cobra back at the place that we live. Grandma was just sitting down eating her noodles as she normally would. It was about 11 in the morning, and sure enough, the king cobra just slid down the pathway, literally towards her.
Yeah.
She's eating some noodles. So she went into full grandma attack mode and took this king cobra down.
I took it out, picked it up or what?
So I just found a garden utensil, something lying around, and she said it reared its head and showed aggression.
Do they spit or are they they just bite you? Yeah?
I don't know much about them,
But
when I asked Grandma if she was scared, she said, out of all the snakes, that's the only time she's scared.
Yeah.
So that was a real threat. And we caught the last bit of the video where the housekeeper kind of had the king cobra on the gardening tool. So it was probably 2 meters long.
It's rough, man.
So yeah, I mean we're sitting on the top of a hill in Bangbao. It's the viewpoint just behind Cliff Cottages in Koh Chang, and we've got some beautiful afternoon sunshine. It's 5 in the afternoon, and we've walked up here, found a little temple. This is Taylor, and we're just having a little chat today. Taylor, maybe tell us the story about how you came to be at Beach Jungle in Koh Chang.
Mate, I was honestly, that's how I wanted to start and speak to you about. It's just crazy, and for me, it's just like complete validation, or like just all of these signs from the universe that are coming through all the time, and I think they're coming through always for all of us. We just have to be aware of them. And this was a big one. I'd just been in South Korea, flew into Vietnam to get a transfer to Thailand. No idea what I was doing at all, not a clue. Then I run into Wendy, just an Australian lady who's in the queue. Ask her how she's doing because it's very busy in Ho Chi Minh. She's like, oh, good, yeah. Lovely lady as well.
Yeah.
She said, oh, where are you going? I said, oh, to Thailand. Where are you? She said, going back home. And she goes, oh, I'll tell you about a place if you want to know. And I said, yeah, sure. I have no idea what I'm doing. She told me, go down to Koh Chang, stay at this hostel, lovely guys. She was like, do you reckon you'll do it? She probably thought I wasn't going to do it. So I just thought I'd just tell them. I was like, I'm going to go.
Oh, wow.
Totally going to go. And then, got to Bangkok. But not a clue what to even expect, nothing. One night in Bangkok and just thought, you know what, it was close. I was going to go up to either Chiang Mai or down here and just go with the flow, and just came here really. Had a call in and come down late and saw you at, I don't know what time it was, late in the evening. Just said, all right then, here's a story for you.
Guess who I saw at the airport?
But it's just, that's how I'm living my life now. It's just that all the time and just listening, not with my ears but with my heart, and it's the most beautiful transition I've made for a long time. And just seeing that, and that's just like, oh, okay, I'm going there, and there's something there. There's got to be a reason why. And now I've met beautiful people, like yourself, Mike, Julie, everyone. Like, it's a perfect little hub, and it's exactly what I wanted to, where I wanted to be after a couple months of quite intense travel.
Yeah.
I still can't really believe I'm here. Mate,
I think one of the first things you said to me after saying how you came to Koh Chang was that, look, the beach is great, the food is great, the vibe is excellent, the people are friendly. Like, what more do you need? Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what more do you actually need. If you've got time and space to travel and just enjoy the moments, where we are in Koh Chang, out of all the islands I've been to and perhaps other places you've seen, like, there's something pretty special about it, and that's why I stay here long term, and you basically extended your stay for another couple of weeks. You felt like it wasn't a place just to pass by, you needed to just stick around for a while. And how's that been for you? What have you been up to?
It's been amazing, man. I think that it's like you said, like, what more do you need? And I think like through growing up a little bit older now, I'm 28 years old. When I was a bit younger, I would always be the next destination, and without even really probably being present in the one I was in. As soon as I get to the next one, I'd be like, okay, where am I going to go after this? And that's probably just an anxiety thing of trying to escape and always trying to plan ahead, and not the inability to be where I was. And like now, like you say, it's got perfect beaches, it's got a gym down the road, lovely food, beautiful people, the sea's clean and nice. Like, what more do you need? peace in your mind and in your heart is obviously most important. And I think you can be at home anywhere then, but God, you can't knock a view like this.
Yeah, this definitely helps.
And it supplements everything, mate. Like when I'm happy like this, and when I can, wake up to the sun, like I want to eat healthy. I want to be happy. I want to do meditation. I want to write music, and I want to do all these beautiful things. So it's definitely a perfect hub or a place to come and actually re-explore or reconnect or find some peace and chill. So
when you walked in, I could already tell you were a fun, friendly person, and then you mentioned that you had met Wendy, who's like basically family to us, and she had just left Beach Jungle in Koh Chang after a couple of weeks, and she's been traveling for the last 9-10 months. That's probably for another video. There's a fair few stories in that. But Wendy's a very special person, and then she bumps into yourself, and I could just tell there was something about you when you rocked up, and then you met Wendy, so that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
but as time went on, you then somehow came to tell me that you're actually a musician, and I think you dropped it early on. You said, that's what I do. That's what I do. I'm a musician. But once I heard your tunes or heard you playing the guitar, I've got this old guitar that hasn't been touched for 3 years. It's got rusty strings. There's only 5 strings on it.
There is indeed.
We just found it at our place at the hostel. So you get it out there and just start making some beautiful melodies with it.
It's been nice, man. I haven't played guitar for a while. I decided this time to travel without. I had a very busy summer, lots of gigs. My throat was suffering from all the gigs I did. It's still healing now. And also, it's just like it's nice to travel away without the identity as a musician. Obviously, that's such a cliche thing when you travel. Oh, get the guitar out and sing. And I just don't really want to. It's nice. Obviously, if someone asks me what I do for a living, I'm not going to lie and say, oh, make it up. But I think that having time away from these things we do and the passions we love, it's given me time to reinvent. And what else do I like doing? What other parts of me are there besides you sing and play guitar? Because after 6-7 months of doing that constantly every day, you kind of almost forget a little bit. And then I have to have time away from that to rediscover. Oh, actually, no, I'm Taylor. I like all these other things as well. But now I picked it up again. The songs are just flowing again, which is beautiful. And I needed that time away, obviously, to rewrite again now, which is it's nice.
With that time away from working so hard at your craft of music, what have you learnt about yourself or other aspects of your life? What have you noticed?
I've just found a lot of peace, Adam. Like a lot of peace. I don't drink anymore. I haven't drunk for over 3 months. I don't smoke anymore. I've just started to really respect like my body and like this vessel that I'm inhabiting for a short amount of time in the grand scheme of the world, and like finally starting to respect myself again. And there's just peace, man, peace. And like the more I sort of reserve into this level of peace now I found, and like retreat here and be calm here, you definitely you can observe the suffering of others a lot more, and I see, and it's not like I'm not saying you can't drink and everything's fine and balanced, but you definitely see what people are running from and I see it. I see myself in everyone now. Like I see all the things. You just know when someone says something and you just think, oh yeah, I remember feeling like that, or I remember that. Like I don't know. Peace is a very difficult thing to attain, and people think it's a very hard thing to attain, and I understand there's a lot of suffering going on and there's a lot of things we have to be doing in our day-to-day lives which might disrupt our peace, but I've just found peace, mate, and a lot of love in my heart for everything, and which is like, what more could I want?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and you shared maybe one of your secrets with me, but you also mentioned that you do a lot of inner work and personal work, but it's quite interesting that you sort of let me know about microdosing shrooms.
Yes.
And how does that all play into, I guess, your journey and the work you're doing and finding peace and just where you're at now in your life?
Yeah. I think first of all, I think it's like super important just to like never pedestal anything. I never put like that and be like that's the answer, because we've done that our whole lives, whether it's like this medication or this teacher or this religion or something. I'd never put it like as the root, but it was definitely a supplementary, beautiful gift from Mother Nature or God or whatever you want to call it. I think like things like alcohol. The thing was with me when I used to drink. I'd get hammered and I'd feel so close to God or energy or spiritual, and I'd be sat there and I'd just be you know, I just feel, and I'd make all these plans of like, I'm gonna do some meditations tomorrow and all this stuff, but wake up hungover, completely like, no way, I'll do it another day, eating shit all day, and then that's it. But and I think with alcohol, it will show you the door, it will show you the path, it will show you the door, but it will not open it for you.
It's like it'll take away your legs after that,
Yeah,
so you can't actually do the action.
100%. And like, a big thing it did for me was like, it just turns you, like, a lot of human beings, myself included once upon a time, we are all about outwards, we're all outwards. What can I take, even what can I give, what's happening all through these eyes. And what mushrooms I think helped me to do is just to turn like right back around and just boom, straight into my heart, straight inside. But I think it's so about intention with like it is with all things. I know a lot of people that do shrooms as like a party drug, and will just get, you know, super high and don't really feel any, they're like, how has this all happened, or what? They don't really understand the spiritual side of them. But my intention with mushrooms is I would sit with them, I love them, and like I give them love. I really set my intentions. So like, what do I want this experience to help me with? How do I want to benefit from this? Like, and then thank you God, thank you so much for providing this to me. It's allowed me just, I don't know, it allows you just to go outside of your mind and externally analyze your being. It's like a truth serum for me. Like anything that I was doing beforehand, or anything that was not good behavior, toxic behavior, anything that like desire-based, I've just slowly rid myself of. So, but obviously that's in combination with, I'm very committed to meditation again. A lot of these other, just loads of like meditation, like self-work, inner work, love, kindness, compassion, empathy, just lots of forgiveness is a big one, lots of principles. But I just feel like it's just open doors and helps you on the spiritual path. It doesn't show you, it doesn't get you anywhere. You still have to do the work. There's no magic pill. But oh man, I don't know. If you're like, I've gone through massive amounts of depression in my life, and I feel so like bless that version of myself that went through that. Like bless him so much for the suffering I caused myself, for the suffering obviously I would have caused others. And I tried like a lot of like pharmaceutical interventions, and maybe they helped a little bit, but I feel like I do, and I understand. I would never tell somebody not to take anything, never. But for me, what I think they probably did was mask all of the issues. When I was on like mirtazapine was a medication that I took once because I couldn't sleep very well, and I had brain was just going on and on. And I think what I did, it made me feel better. I felt like I was, oh God, this is all great, man. I can come off this stuff now. Come off of it, and then everything just come back. Because I didn't do the work. It just blocked it all out. And I thought it was all done, and I was sweet, but no, straight back. And it doesn't provide you with the tools or the peace of mind to do the work. And I think mushrooms have definitely helped with that. And I can see why they're not you know, publicly known or of a legal status just yet. I do think they will be. Like the peer review research coming out on mushrooms now is amazing, especially on not drinking alcohol. I think that's probably a big part of how I've just been off that. Like I studied a master's degree in nutritional science, so I've got quite a good background on research and peer review and all of the interventions with microdosing now. Massive microdosing for alcoholics, for drug addicts, for sex addicts, for all these sort of addictive behaviours, seeing massive, tremendous decreases, which is just life-changing for not just the person going through it, but their family, their friends.
Is that an alternative to saying, you know, zero tolerance, you can't have that, you must abstain 100% from drugs, alcohol, but is that some sort of a compromise for some people to have a little bit, to take some of the benefits? You mentioned microdosing alcohol. I've never heard of that concept.
Oh, no, not alcohol.
Oh, sorry.
Microdosing, like, there's lots of drugs you can microdose, I think, like MDMA and LSD and things like this. For me, I just wanted something more from the ground, just from feeling like it's from the earth itself.
Can you explain to me a little bit about what work means for you when you say you have to do the work yourself? Is this journey the last 9 months? Is that you starting the work, or when did the work start? And when did you start getting results that are really noticeable, and where to from here?
I say the work. It's so funny because there's not really any work. When I think the end of the work
That's
is.
why I was curious to know what
the
it
end
means.
of the end of the work was realising that there wasn't really any work to do in the first place. The spiritual journey for me is when I say work, it was work. It felt like work for a very long time because there was a lot of suffering that occurred for me to. But I just knew that there was something more going on with my existence and with everybody's existence and my place upon earth amongst all of the, like, I just knew that, like, this, I know deeply, I have a knowing or an understanding that none of this is for, like this is all, like, something's going on. It's not just like all random stuff and, oh, I'm here now and I saw Wendy and I'm here and this happened, I met Mike and we have this chat and, you know, I see yourself and it cannot just be for nothing. And I feel this with my connection to love, to people. But the work for a long time was just trying to make sense of everything and unpack it and, you know, oh, it's okay. And there's lots of principles of spirituality and growth. I went down those pathways. But really, I think all it is in the end, the essence of it all is just to love one another, but wholly and wholeheartedly, totally, without judgment. Forgive, have empathy, compassion, see that everyone is just a reflection of who you are as well. When you embody this way of life, which I'm really trying my best to live through all the time. I haven't got it perfect at all. There's times where I massively go out of sync of it sometimes, you know. And I'm not saying I'll never drink again. I'm not saying I'll never do anything again. I'm just living for now, which is really the work in the end because it's all here. Like everything that I was trying to feel was already all there. It was just covered up by my mind. It was just my mind just getting in the way of all of these things that were preventing me from being present and loving, living a loving, fulfilling life. Yeah, man, it's been I follow a guru called Muji, Blessed Muji. He's like shown me so much stuff, shown me so much, helped me to acquire a lot of peace. And one funny thing he said, I told this story to Mike earlier, we were cracking up, because everybody wants to be, you always want to be doing something. And when I was in India, everyone was like, oh, what are you here for, man? What are you here to learn? What are you here for? I was like, nothing, man. Because I'm not really searching anymore. The search is over. And everyone was like, what are you searching for? I'm like, nothing. They're like, you must be searching for something. What do you mean? Like, and that's quite confronting, isn't it? But yeah, so Muji tells a story as someone comes up to him and says, I want to be enlightened. Can you tell me how to be enlightened? And he goes, oh, yes, I'll tell you. And he goes, so you walk out this door now, you go right there, 100 metres down the road, you find a bus stop, you take the number 2 bus, you run it at 4 blocks round the corner, and you get to this little temple at the end there. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. What do I do then when I get there? You're writing it down. And then he goes, and then you turn around, you get on the bus, and you come straight back here. And it's just like, but that's just what it is. Like, that is what, like, it's the whole...
Just waking up every day and going about your day.
The whole overcomplication of what it means to just... to be in love with life and just to be at peace with everything. Like, we just overcomplicate a lot of things, and we do. But obviously there is a level of, there is work to be done. There is a level of understanding to develop. There is empathy, true compassion, true forgiveness. Not just, oh, I forgive you. It's like, no, I really love you and like care about you. True empathy, where, you know, absence of judgment, truthfully. And that does require a little bit of refining and work, because, you know, of course, like there's
going to be factors pulling you back to
of course,
the old ways.
And they come back into my mind all the time, you know. There's always stuff like that. Like originally, like, and it's just trying to shorten the gap, you know. If somebody does something now, I might think, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, like, they are you. I remember that time you've done that stuff to people, and like, it's just trying to catch yourself. But just to talk a little bit more on this conversation I had today, because it's so beautiful, and I'm very honest about a lot of things, or everything now, just whatever, open book. I was saying to Mike how, like, other people's happiness used to be quite confronting for me. And even like when people ask me now, like, what are you looking for? And I say nothing. I can see sometimes they're like, oh, like, and it used to be for me, somebody would tell me how happy they were and I'd be like, oh, real happy for you, man. But inside I'd be like, man, they look well happy, and I'm not, like, I'm not happy, and I just remember that. I remember that for a long time, and I didn't really feel very happy for other people and their happiness, which was like, and that's just me being honest. I'm just totally like, that was just the truth. And a time happened in India where I was talking to these 2 lovely, lovely girls in a little cafe having chai tea in the evening, and this girl says to me, I'm so happy with who I am now. And my heart just was like, oh. And like I felt so happy for her and so much love for her. Like, wow, like you are so happy for who you are, and like you love yourself, and that's amazing. It wasn't confronting. It wasn't like, it was just lovely. And at that point, I was like, fuck, like, wow. I told her this part of the story. I was like, I can't, like, to finally embody the things I always knew in that moment was just like I've arrived at where I want to be now. I can be happy for others.
Is it in a way you had enough happiness for yourself that you were able to genuinely have happiness for other people?
Yes, definitely. And I think it's just love, man, love for yourself as well. And it's such a cliche. And this used to annoy me as well. I remember my brother once said you're cliche of you can't love anyone else fully until you love yourself. And that ground me up, that did. I remember being like, but it's because I didn't have love for myself. And not a lot of people do, man. And like, I do believe that to be true. Like how much relationships are based purely on the love for each other, or are they based on an absence of something in your being which you're trying to fill, a gap you're trying to fill with someone else, or something you're trying to avoid? You know, and I think I found that love now. Like some things I'm still, you know, trying to observe and have awareness of. I think that lessons of the mind I never really learn, and I talk about like separation between the mind and the heart. It's such an important thing. I know now where I'm thinking from my mind or when I'm being from my heart with someone. I know like when I can feel the difference between those. It's quite a weird concept to
Are you
maybe
able
understand.
to give an example?
Yeah.
Where you have been aware of, well, that's a decision that's coming from my mind, or that's a thought coming from my mind rather than the heart?
Yeah, perfect. Easily.
Yeah.
So like, drinking, typically, like escapisms of like, oh, you could just drink those beers right now, man. Like, don't worry about it. Nah.
That's
like,
your heart speaking?
No, that's my mind.
Oh, that's your mind.
That's
Okay.
my head, man. That's my egoic mind of wants and desires.
Okay.
When I see an attractive girl, I'm more about like wanting to create love with someone now. Like you know, my mind comes in there of like, oh, you know, I could, you know, sexual thoughts, all of these things. But and that's all up here, and it's just desire based. Anything desire based, I can just know it's from my mind. But anything based in love, I just feel it here a lot more.
Oh, right.
And I think knowing the difference is very important. Like financial based, I want to get some money, like all things like that. Just things that don't serve, and like greed and these emotions like this are just.
So you're saying that it's beneficial to lead more with your heart?
Yes.
And maybe be aware of what's going on in your mind, but kind of park some of those thoughts, or don't act on them straight away.
I think all the mind really is there to do is to protect you, is to look after this human body you have, and make sure you are fed well and have enough water, and you know, maybe procreate, recreate, or at some point in your life through those sorts of desires. But I think besides that, does it really serve you too much, or does it get you into lots of like issues such as like depression, anxiety, make decisions that you're not really happy with? I don't really think that it can serve you too much. Leading with your heart, and you can feel it. Like, I can feel it for sure. But it definitely took a long time for me to know, because I think sometimes the mind can disguise itself as the heart. You really want this. Yeah, you really want this, man. You really do.
This is coming from the heart.
It is. Yeah, I promise you, it's coming from here. Like, well, it's not.
Talk yourself into things.
Yeah, definitely, man. You can justify anything as well. You can justify any behaviour in this world, spiritually, emotionally, physically. You can justify anything. In the world of the mind, you can justify anything.
Right.
But through here, I think the truth is the truth. Like, decisions based out of true love, like forgiveness, empathy, compassion, kindness. That's based from here. Like, the mind can justify anything it wants, and that's why I don't think you have to be careful with how much you listen to that. And knowing the difference is a big lot of importance. Where to from now?
Where to from now?
Don't know, man. Like, every day is a new day. And
Do you have to be anywhere at a certain time? Or a certain, does this trip of yours have to stop?
But there's obviously like a finite amount of funds in the bank account. But I think that's a really important thing to quickly mention as well. Is like how cheaply you can travel. I've had it a few times on my posts and stuff saying, "Oh, have you won the lottery or something?" I'm like, man, like it is so cheap. Like, what do you need here, man? You need, like, if you want to stay in a hostel dorm, like £5, £6, £7 a night, food for the day. Really, if you wanted to do it cheaply, you could do like on £4 or £5. That's like £13. some water and drinks. I don't know. You could do £20 a day, and that's probably all right, pretty good, like living. And that's like what, £600 a month. Like that's not a lot. Like that's people spend that on loads of stuff. You don't need a lot of money to travel, and like super important, I think, to note. And like at home, I don't have like flash cars. I don't have nice. I haven't bought clothes in so long. Besides in India, like when they were like £2 a go. I don't cut my hair very clearly. Like just all these little things you can remove from your life, which means you can put them into places where you want them. I have nothing on finance, so I can go and just cut off everything and just leave, and there's no expenses that have to be paid. But I just want to say that because I think a lot of people want to travel, but they think it's unfinancially viable.
So you can get a lot of living done when you travel in certain places, such as this, and in Asia. And if you don't, go out and spend it on alcohol and buy things you don't really need.
Yeah. Alcohol, big one, man. Like, because I haven't, like, you could easily spend £10-15 a night on alcohol. Yeah. And I've not done that, obviously, the whole time I've been away. And the amount of money I probably have saved from that is crazy.
Every morning when I see you about the hostel, you always say good morning, always quite happy, ask me how I'm doing. You're very upbeat. And because we see a lot of faces, and not everyone's feeling super fresh in the morning, because, of course, it's no problem for people to go and party. But it is very clear seeing yourself and your presence and energy at the start of the day.
Yes.
And then other people who might really be struggling, and the first thing that might come out of their mouth might be, even before they've said hello, they may not even be hello, it might be, where's the cigarette lighter?
Yeah.
I need to get this thing lit up. And there was...
Or just a groan.
I was having a chat to someone this morning, I could see this other person come up and even sort of interject in the conversation to ask for the lighter.
Yeah.
Whereas you start the day really positively, so no alcohol probably helps, and just the mental state that you're in.
Yeah. And
starting the day well, and you mentioned the word intentions before.
Yeah.
If you start the day well, surely you've got to have a higher chance of having a happy, healthy, fun sort of day ahead that is conducive to good relationships and just this great feeling that you have.
I'm just happy, like finally, mate. After like a lot of people who watch this I've been so public about stuff I've suffered with and struggled with in my life, but like finally waking up and being happy to wake up is like I wish that for everyone. And like I don't need to like get out of my head. I don't need to drink alcohol because I don't need to alter this state of I've been in a minute. I'm in at the minute. I don't need to alter it. And it's not like, oh, look at me, I'm so happy. It's just like I am like doing really well now, and I think I've suffered a lot in my life, and I definitely needed the suffering to push me to where I am now, for sure. But in terms of what's next, man, I think just carry on, just embracing every moment, every day, helping people that need help, just putting out love to the universe. Keep trying to point people back to their heart, keep pointing myself back to my heart, write music, and just live, man, and just love as much as possible. This is it. It's so simple, so simple.
Curious to know what Taylor's like when you go back to a normal life, because you may not be able to travel non-stop like this forever.
Definitely.
But what's Taylor like? Like, have you had a career before? I mean, you're an artist, so I guess your pathway in life is in the way you earn money is a little bit different. But is that you're going to continue with that? Is this you're staying with your passion, your art, your music? You're going to keep on that path, or do you think you might enter the corporate world? Do you have any aspirations to do a 9-to-5 sort of gig, or nah, that's not part
I've done that. I've been there and done that, man. I did that in Sydney once upon a time. Never, ever again. Right. Money is not the goal either. Like, you don't earn heaps of money at this level of playing music, but you earn enough to do what I love. I'm loose with money, man. Like, I really am now. Like, it's just whatever. Like, I'll happily I want to be in a place where I can just share and just whatever. Like, I think the more you give, the more it comes. I think it's called currency for a reason, because it's a current and it flows. And it's meant to flow, and the more you hold on to it, the less will come back. But at home, I'm just chill, man. I think, like, it's obviously a lot more slowed down. This is more who I am. I think I'm definitely a traveller at heart. I have the wildness in my heart still. But I think I'm going to go back a very different person.
Dude, that's a great video.
With a hand on your heart, forgiving every one of your sins.
That looks awesome. I'll take a picture now.